Hello, everybody. All right, guys, I hope you're having a great day. Um, I got another knife video from you, and I'm Ken Faulkner coming to you. So, that being said, I got another one that in my recent buying frenzy from Blade Show West, that I want to show you. And this is not one that's brand new. This is not something that a lot of you are not going to be familiar with. But I have never pulled the trigger on this one. It's one of those ones that's just kind of, maybe you have knives like that. Um, it's a knife that's kind of like in the back of your head, but either there's always been something that's just a little bit better choice, or a little bit cheaper, more in the budget that you have at the time, or for whatever reason, you just don't get around to buying it. But it's always there. You always think about it. Or people talk about it. This is a classic knife. Um, this one is, no further ado, the Hogue Deka. The Hogue Deka. Anybody that's been in the knife community for a while has probably heard of this one. It's a nice little design, not quite full size. I'd call this on the smaller side, but there's times when that's really helpful. For me, this is more of a backup knife. I'm gonna flick it out, and we're gonna show you up close and personal. It says it's a Leishowitz design, I guess, and it is in CPM MagnaCut. And I was just doing a video. My last video was American Blade Works, and that one was also in MagnaCut. So this is actually my second one that I own now in MagnaCut. And I'd heard that they had made them, and last time I was looking at them, they didn't have any available. But when I saw at the show that they did have them in MagnaCut, I said, well, it's about time for me to go ahead and get this thing. It's got like the Axis style lock. Forget what they call their version of it. I just tend to be generic about it with a crossbar lock because, names are hard for me. So it's got a nice deep carry clip. Got some mushrooms in the shade, as bees would say. But I haven't had any problem getting it in and out of the pocket, so it seems to work well. It's reversible, left side too. When I got this one, I thought that these scales, because I felt them and in the hand. Pull this thing back a little bit. In the hand, it feels nice and strong. But what it says it is I'm trying to get the actual terminology that they call it. Polymer. Now you see a lot of cold steel knives that have what they call a polymer handle. I've owned some with what are called polymer handles. I guess some people just call them plastic, but as far as polymer is concerned, this one definitely feels way more solid than some of the other ones I've had in the past. So I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of aftermarket scales for this, and maybe someday. I don't do tons of aftermarket scales myself, but that may be something I decide to get into at one point. A little funny story about this thing. When the guy was showing it to me, the first one I looked at was an all black blade, and I like some of those. But then I looked at this one. I said, yeah, that's probably more the one I like. But when I was looking at the all black blade, I saw this little mark here, and I'm going, "What is that? A scratch? What's going on with that? Is that a scratch?" And I guess it's because I really hadn't looked that closely at the Deca before, but it does have like a dual grind. And so with the all blacked out blade, with this more satin, with like a stone wash, it's a little bit more obvious. But you can see the dual grind on this a little bit more clearly, and the guy kind of laughed at me a bit, so that was pretty funny. Nothing wrong with that blade. Just got that extra thinner in the front, so it's going to be a little more slicey, and then the back is a little bit more robust. So if you're cutting and you tend to, harder cuts are going to tend to be closer to where you're grabbing the knife to really get it. Otherwise, you're losing some leverage there. But obviously, the tip is where you're going to be doing more slicey type things. So it can make sense. I mean, I really think that's a wise design on their part. So anyway, great knife. For comparison on this one, I've always heard that this is something that definitely competes with the Bugout from Benchmade. And so I've had this Bugout for a while. I bought this one a little earlier in my collecting. It was actually a gift from a girlfriend, and you know, she asked me what I wanted, and the Bugout was just one that everybody was talking about back then. How great it is, the action, and how lightweight it is. And then, you know, later on, hearing about the Deca, I've been hearing, yeah, it's lightweight, kind of like the Bugout. Now the Bugout did come with FRN handles. You can see it's got the blue thumb studs, but it had the blue FRN handles, and those were very flexy. And I got to the point where I really wasn't carrying the knife that much because it was just, I like a heavier knife, so the lightweight wasn't really as much of an advantage for me. This is good for gym shorts, you know, sweats or something like that. You don't want to have something heavy in or something that sticks out much. It's great for that. But I did find these scales, and I like this nice, I don't know if you can see it if the light's right to see that it's like a purple, like a dark purple. These scales I got from Flightanium, and it just changed this 100%. So if I hadn't done that, I would say I really like this knife way better than the Bugout. Now with it changed out, I'd say they're pretty close to the same. Maybe the Magna Cut in the Hogue kind of gives it a little bit of an edge. They're both USA made. They're both very sliced. This has got kind of that clip point, reverse tanto, modified sheet foot, whatever you want to call it. So if you like that kind of edge, I kind of like both of these types of blades. Drop point was my favorite for the longest time, but I'm starting to warm up a little bit more to this. It's kind of almost like a Warncliffe with the pointy end on it. So there you have it, guys. I finally got myself a Hogue Deka. You know, it feels like that collection, my collection is kind of getting more and more complete. But there's always more out there. And this is just one more box that's checked off. And anyway, thanks for watching. Showing you a knife that has been around a long time, and you may be well familiar with it, but it's new to me. So I was excited about it. I want to show it to you. All right, guys, you have a good one, and I will see you on the next one.